The James Harden era has officially begun in Philadelphia, and it could not have started any better than what had transpired over the last two games, as he is single-handedly proving that he and Embiid could go down as the NBA's best duo this year, as the 76ers have become as serious as it gets in terms of being deadly championship contenders this season. It's just been 2 games, but I think that what we've learned from just how good these two can be is absurd, as the former MVP is now paired with one of the top candidates to win the award this season. Harden's already breaking records and joining the likes of historic players on historic lists, as in just these 2 games, he's joined Chris Paul as the only players in NBA history to record multiple games of 25 plus points, 10 plus rebounds, 15 plus assists, and 5 plus steals in their careers, and he is now the only player in NBA history with 25 points and 10 assists in a player's first 2 games with a new team. Harden, as dominant as he's been over the last decade, is still fully capable to play at that MVP level that we once saw in Houston, and he's never had anything close to Embiid at the center position, being as dominant as he is, which makes these two absolutely terrifying for the NBA, as we almost have no idea what to expect once these two hit their top potentials together. Harden, as mentioned before, won the MVP in 2018. He's a former 6th man of the year, 3-time scoring leader, was the assist leader once, and had 7 All-NBA appearances, 6 of which were first-team selections, and will now be paired alongside Joel Embiid, who has an abundance of accolades of his own. In his first 2 games with the 76ers, Harden's been able to average 28 points, 9 rebounds, 14 assists, which is just unreal, with a whopping 2.5 steals, and the craziest part about it all is as soon as he's touched foot into Philly, he's been shooting the ball over 57% from the field, over 57% from 3, 94.7 from the free throw line, and to top it all off to an almost perfect debut is the fact that his plus minus was plus 54 in those 2 games, which says nothing but positive things about his impact on winning with this team. Also, only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. Enjoy the video. Joel Embiid is the ultimate winner from this deal, as Embiid finally has received the help he deserves, now obviously making the Sixers serious contenders to win it all, but also just the fact that defenses now have to worry about more than just him being a dominant option to score the ball and make plays, and this is going to take Embiid's game to a completely different planet, as this type of offensive weapon is something that he's never been paired alongside, preventing defenses from zeroing in on just him in their game plan. Embiid's already stated that with Harden, this is the most open he's been in his entire NBA career, and what that's led to is in his last 2 games, he's been able to average 35 points, nearly 10 rebounds a game, 2 blocks and a steal, while also having an incredibly positive plus minus of plus 43, and all of this is recorded for Embiid in just 33.7 minutes per game. In particular, Harden and Embiid being on the court together makes them so much more dynamic, and with the East as wide open as it is, and the 76ers sitting just 2.5 games back from the number 1 seed, Philadelphia has a serious shot to grab that spot, which could do wonders in terms of playoff implications, but would also help Embiid's resume when talking about the MVP conversation, potentially giving him the edge to win the award. We have yet to see just how much better this partnership is going to make him with the small sample size they've had together, yet both guys seem to be happy about the move. Both guys have already excelled, they're both ringless, so making this work as best as possible is in both of their top priorities, and practically everything about this has just seemed to be seamless between these 2 guys. Harden is one of the best offensive weapons that the NBA has ever seen, and he still has a couple of years of domination left in the tank, while I also believe that when it's all said and done, Embiid will also be talked about being one of the best at his position, especially if this duo of him and Harden were to continue like it already has. At the exact moment after the trade between Harden and Simmons, I honestly thought that the Nets had won the trade by a mile and a half, and honestly I think areas that I just completely left out analyzing was the simple fact that Harden is a bona fide superstar that has arguably been one of the best offensive players in the entire league for the past couple of years. That alone is enough to win them this trade, as I didn't realize just how good this duo can be, and with the amount of talent that they both possess, they can very well end up hoisting the championship trophy in June. It's not just the fact that this team has these two guys at the forefront of their roster, they also managed to keep Tyrese Maxey, a guy that was constantly in the conversations when the 76ers were trying to land Harden originally, and that was apparently one of the main reasons as to why the trade didn't go through, as the Sixers were very keen on keeping him on their roster. Maxey is still just 21 years old and will both be a vital role to this team's success this season, but also this team's future, as in his second year, he's already been able to average 17, 4.5 assists, and 3.6 rebounds, while also shooting 47% from the field, and he shoots a clean 40% from three. He has an incredibly bright future, and the Philadelphia 76ers definitely believe that as well, which gives him the confidence he will need to succeed in developing into a top player on this team, while also potentially being a part of a Maxey, Harden, Embiid big three one day for the 76ers. And then this team also has Tobias Harris, who is a solid option as the third or fourth scorer on this team, depending on the type of night Maxey is having. He's always been that solid option for this team, not really living up to the contract that he originally signed, being a 5-year, $180 million deal, but it's the last year of his deal, and this could also mean that the Philadelphia 76ers would have the room this offseason to make an absolutely enormous deal, bringing in a top player alongside Harden, Embiid, and Maxey. Thibault is the last guy of this starting core that's going to play a key role in the success this team has in the postseason, as he's clearly the team's best defender, and with the abundance of offense this team already has, that's going to allow him to fully focus on just absolutely locking up the opposing team's best player in a 7-game series. And then finally, the bench unit that the Sixers possess is pretty solid, especially considering all the money they're paying to the top players on their team, as after the rest of the players they dealt out in that Harden trade, they were still left with Shake Milton, Korkmaz, Niang, Danny Green, and among others, while also acquiring some veteran experience in Paul Millsap from the Nets. It is no question that the 76ers got better from this trade, as they were in a position where they had no choice but to get rid of Simmons, and were also in a year that they didn't really want to waste Embiid's talent either, especially with the fact that he's been balling like the potential 2022 MVP. With that being said, they were in a position where I honestly felt like they were gonna have to settle for something that might not have been worth the talent they'd be giving up Ben Simmons for, and that could not have been farther from reality with how the situation eventually played out for this team, as they went all in with this deal, and it would most definitely pay off if they were to win the chip this year, or even like the fact that I just mentioned, this team could have an enormous amount of cap room to bolster up their roster for next season. As this wraps up this video, I want to know what you guys think about this new duo of Harden and Embiid, and if you guys think the 76ers are going to make a run this year in the playoffs. As always, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button to help this video get shared across YouTube's algorithm, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more NBA videos like this one that I will be posting multiple times per week. Thank you all for watching this video, and I hope you all have a great night.